hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it.
We are waiting for Tori Franklin to pop in here, but we are officially live. A couple of minutes late today, but quick shout out, by the way, to the sponsor of that content that you saw, HSS Hospital for Special Surgery, um, allowed us to create a lot of really cool content with a lot of cool athletes. So on today's show, oh, look at this timing!
Hi,
Hey there,
how
where
are
where
you?
where are you exactly at the moment?
I am in Paris, France. I'm just chilling in one of the apartments
All
nearby.
right. So, you're just
Mhm.
hanging out in Paris. You're not doing anything.
Hanging out.
All right. So
Mhm.
let's start off and get right into it. Uh,
Mhm.
Tori, who are you and what do you do?
Hello, my name's Tori Franklin. I'm a triple jumper for Team USA 2022, bronze medalist at the World Championship, three-time American record holder, and five-time World Championship team member. Oh, and two-time Olympian.
I was going to say you're kind of forgetting that one.
Yes, there's something that I did here.
And let's not go too far without mentioning a Michigan State Spartan.
I'm Michigan State Spartan.
There we go. There we go. Spartans representing here. We had Heath Baldwin on last week
Ah,
just to
okay,
kind of,
he's a good kid.
just to give a little Spartan
Mhm.
love. The
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's dive into the Olympic experience this time around. You know,
Mhm.
take us through kind of second time coming in.
Mhm.
Um, what was your mindset coming in, and just take us through kind of your feeling and experience.
Yeah, my mindset coming into the competition was very relaxed, very, very playful, um, a lot less stress than Tokyo, a lot more confident than Tokyo, and with a sense of like everything that I've done to prepare for this moment has already been worth it, regardless of what the result is. So that was kind of how I wanted to come into these games.
That's that's pretty cool. So, we do a lot of work with Ryan Krauser, and we're kind of picking his brain on kind of, you know, greatness and how he performs, when he needs it the most. And talk about that mindset, because this has kind of been one of the themes that we're touching on. Um,
Mhm.
we talked a bit about it with Shari Hawkins last week as well. Talk about that
Mhm.
mindset of coming in like, I'm going to put it out there, and however it goes, right?
Yeah, because I think if you're too stuck on trying to achieve a specific result, it can maybe cause some anxiety or some worry, some nervousness, and that's the worst thing you can do at a competition like this, you know? So, like, of course, we come in with goals. Of course, we come in wanting to achieve greatness. We want to do the best our bodies can possibly produce. But it's like, you want to be loose with it and recognize that your body can only do what your mind allows it to. And if your mind is too stuck, too rigid, too fear based, it's not going to be able to perform.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, you and I don't know each other, but I know you, and I
Mhm.
follow you, and I see you're a very mindful person. Um,
Mhm.
let's go a little bit deeper on that and how you kind of bring kind of that mindfulness into athletics, and
Mhm.
how it helps you.
Yeah. So mindfulness has been a tremendous aspect and part of my success. It has helped me to just develop a deeper connection to my body and um, just like to develop a sense of peace about my training and ease about my training. Like, for example, I have two examples. One, a lot of athletes have a hard time getting their body to do what they want it to do. Like a triple jumper would be like, oh, I know I'm supposed to bring my foot all the way around, but my body doesn't do it when I'm jumping, you know? And if you're able to connect the mind and the body better through mindfulness, it's much easier to let your body do what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean?
I do. I think at times we forget it's the mind that's running this thing.
Hmm.
Right? I mean, a lot of things we don't have to think about. We don't have to think about our heart beating or my hands
Yeah.
moving when I was just saying that. I'm not thinking
Yeah.
about it. But right? This is what controls the whole thing.
Hmm. And when you get so good at it, like you don't have to think about it. It becomes almost second nature for your body to do it once you develop that connection.
So we had Donald Scott on a few days ago. So we're
Hmm.
doing, triple jump love. Uh,
Yeah.
this is an event that I'm kind of obsessed with, I have to admit.
Right.
Um, what is it? What is triple jump? Tell me from your point of view, what is this thing
Hmm.
called triple jump?
I think triple jump can be one of two things. It can either be a beautiful flowing dance, or it can be a little bit of like a volcanic erupting into chaos, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and it depends on like kind of what your strength is. For example, mine is speed. Some people's is power. Some people have both. But with the way that I like to jump with my best jumps, it comes with ease. I'm a dancer. I'm bouncing like a bee from pedal to pedal. You know what I mean?
That's so cool because that's what it looks like. It looks like you're kind of like you're saying bouncing. I'm gonna say bounding. I don't think it's probably. I like bouncing better because it sounds more explosive, spring
Mhm.
like. But
Yes.
I learned something years ago from Natasha Hastings when she talked about Bob. She's like, whatever I put into the ground is what I get back through my body, and I'm like, because I
Mhm.
knew nothing about sprinting, running, like, and I'm like, wow, I never even thought of that concept. But you guys
Mhm.
are doing it with so much force. Like, how much force is on your body, and what? Take us through the exact movement of from the top all the way down until you jump. Walk us
Mhm.
kind of through that experience.
Well, it's kind of hard to say because, like I said, when you do it correctly, you don't feel the force. There's there's force, obviously, but when you do it well, you don't feel the force. So I'm just kind of moving across the ground instead of coming and being like boom and then having to force myself into the next phase. It really shouldn't be like that. It should be like when a rock skips across water. Like the rock doesn't feel the impact between it and the water. It doesn't. It's barely touching the water before it goes.
Interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. So, how much does speed play a role, and how do you transfer kind of, I guess, this kind of horizontal energy into the ground, which is kind of a vertical downward energy? How does that happen?
Hmm. Speed is everything. And if you don't have it, then you need to have more strength. For example, like I'll use Uzongo. He is force. He is strength. He's a fast guy when he's running, and he moves through his spaces very well, but he's not the most efficient jumper. Um, he he uses a lot of his force to get through his phases. But with the more speed you have, you don't need quite as much force. And you could look at that with like maybe the women jumpers in the mid to early 2000s um, that are tall and skinny. They don't look very strong, but they're moving through these phases. They're just bouncing 15 meters easy. So it really just depends.
So the premise in triple jump. So Donald Scott is like, it's a hop, skip, and a jump. Uh,
Hmm.
and talk about the difference between that first hop, what he's calling a skip. What's
Hmm.
happening? What's the difference between those two movements?
The hop and the step.
Yeah.
Besides the obvious that one's a hop and one's a step.
Yes. I want to talk like this is like a novice. I want to explain from the expert.
Okay, okay.
So why is there
Um,
a hop and why is there a step? Like let's
I
start
can't tell
there.
you. I can't tell you why because I didn't invent the event.
Okay.
But um, let's see. There is a way that you move, like with your hips, that kind of propels you forward in a different way between the two. Um, the essence is the same, that you want to be moving your legs quickly down to the ground and pushing off forward. The only difference is when you're coming from your hop, you're you're needing to swing your momentum with your own speed instead of just like going straight through. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You're
I'm
wanting
learning.
to, yeah, like using your swing leg as a way to kind of get through that hop. That this penultimate, this leg, this, I forget what they call it. This one is just as important as the one that you're hopping on, the way that it moves. It kind of keeps your body in balance so you're not over rotating or getting imbalanced from side to side. It gives you that freedom to open up into your hop.
I was just going to ask you that. So what are the things that can take away from a great jump? What are
Mhm.
the things that kind of throw you off? Like you're saying, over rotating. Yeah, take us through that.
Yeah. Um, well, from the beginning, not pushing, like in your approach, not running with proper form, not getting tall at the board, having your hips behind you, back pedaling when you're running, like all of these things will completely destroy your jump because you're not in a good position to take off at the board. And then from there, yeah, not finishing your full cycle, um, having the timing off between your arms and your legs, whether you do double or single arm, the speed at which you're bringing your legs back down to the ground to move off into your next phases, and then going into the third phase, still with the speed that you're coming down onto the ground, but then the how fast the switch is going into your last phase
So there's
and
a
finishing.
there's a lot of there's a lot of
A lot
places
can
where,
go wrong.
yeah, where things can go wrong. So
Yeah.
this is one of those events that I think it's fascinating because it seems kind of simple, right?
Hmm.
You run, you skip, you bounce, and then you jump, right? It seems very simple, but you just broke it down. There's like six things that you just said there, places where things can go kind of like into a really bad jump.
Yep.
And then when we shot a lot with Sam Kendricks, and when we were shooting with him at his farm in Oxford, Mississippi, he has like a pole vault pit there,
Yeah.
and we were shooting with him, and I'm like, I'm really obsessed with like finding new camera angles and all that kind of stuff, and I'm
Hmm.
like, you know, where can we go? Because this isn't a competition. Where can we go? That you an angle that you haven't seen before, and Sam goes, um, put your camera right here. Like,
Hmm.
and my camera guy was like laying down. He goes, okay, move 2 inches back. He goes, my foot's going to hit right there. And
Hmm.
he pointed to a very specific spot.
Exactly. Yeah.
He knew exactly. And then I looked at that little spot, and he's obviously had his pit there for years, and it was just all torn up. So
Yeah.
clearly he's hit this same spot. So is your event like the same preciseness? I mean, it's maybe more precise, right? Because of
Mhm.
you can't fault on the board.
No. Mm-mm. It is not the same because he has to go off from the same spot to make sure his pole hits the right spot in the,
In the
I don't know what
box.
it's called. Yeah, in the box, so he can take off at the proper angle and finish his jump. For triple jump, like I said, so much can go wrong at any part. Like, but you can still have a good jump. So like my first phase might be a little short or it might be a little over rotated, but I can save it in the second, which would mean I'm gonna land in a different spot. Or I might go a little bit too high, but maybe I can save it in the third. You know what I mean? So like no jump is gonna be exactly the same, even if it's a great jump. There are still gonna be places that you messed up, and that's kind of like the irony of triple jump. even when you have a good distance, there's something in there you did wrong for sure.
So it's you're I mean you're a perfectionist, you're making micro adjustments. And at the same
Hmm.
time, do you remember one jump that it's like this was the jump, even if it wasn't like, a medal winning jump?
Hmm.
Do you remember one in
Yeah,
particular?
it was a foul at in 2022 national
It
championships
was a foul. Oh, no.
by this much.
Oh my God.
Yep, that was a beautiful jump, and I did it twice.
Really?
Yeah. Hmm. I did it at nationals in 22, and I did it at worlds in 22, and I fouled them both by the same amount. And that was a beautiful
That's
jump.
crazy. That is crazy.
Mhm.
So Tori, I'm always asking this question about like why did you choose triple jump? How did you find this event, and
Mhm.
why do you love it?
I always say that nobody chooses a triple jump. One, because one, people don't know what it is until it finds you. And two, because it's not easy and not everybody can do it well. So if you're doing it, it's because you are physically built to do it. And you don't really have a choice at that point. So triple jump chose me when I was 14, yeah, freshman in high school. And I did it once or twice, and my coach was like, "You're good at this. You can go to state." And I was like, "All right, sounds fun to me. Let's go."
So that's how you found it.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then was it kind of great right when you started, or was it like I'm not quite sure about triple. I still might switch back over to whatever.
Um, well, I still did a ton of other events in both in high school and in college. So I never had to just like only choose triple jump, but I always knew it was something that I was going to have to do. Like I was recruited to do triple jump, and I told the coach like I want to run also. Like if I'm coming up, I'm gonna run the 400 too. Okay, and so I had to use triple jump to negotiate the events that I actually wanted to do also. So
That's
I
so
knew kind of
funny.
like where my bread was buttered, so I used that to my leverage.
That is so funny. So you use it as leverage to get
Mhm.
what were you doing tell me all the events that you were doing in high school then.
Mhm. In high school, I did long jump, triple jump, the 400, the 4x4, the 4x1, the 200. Yeah.
So
And
it's
in
like
college, I did all of those also.
so again, when I started this company, I started in 2018. We first started, um,
Hmm.
and really it's 2019. We were building it toward Tokyo 2020. That was the idea, and
Okay.
but I had never been to a track meet, like not even in high
Mhm.
school. Uh, I'm an
Oh.
athlete, but I was never. So the first meet I ever went to was USA's. No, it was the Drake Relays.
Hmm.
Drake
Oh,
Relays, and I'm
a
like,
good one.
wow. I'm like, this is pretty cool. This track,
This is
and
insane.
now I'm obsessed with it. Now I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
What are the other sports? So let's say you couldn't do triple jump anywhere. It's like, oh, that's off the table. And
Yeah.
let's say, what would you do in the world of track? And then the other question is, what would you do that's another Olympic sport if you couldn't do any track or field?
Okay. In the sport of track and field, I would run the 400. I really liked that one because that was the event that made me scared. And I really liked that adrenaline. I was never afraid doing triple jump. It was too chill. Um,
Let's just stop there for a second, though.
okay.
It made you scared.
Hmm.
What is it
Like,
about something making you scared that makes you want to do it?
well, I think I've been told that I'm a little bit of a stimulus junkie or something like that, where I always like to feel something, whether it's like excitement or adventure, something new, something scary. All of these things just like really excite me. And just like standing behind the blocks, not knowing how fast anybody else is, not knowing if I'm gonna get tired at 300, or if my butt's gonna lock up. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen out here. And it all happens so fast, and it's like it kind of feels like you don't have any control once you're what your body's gonna do. And that was scary to me.
That is cool. That's cool.
Mhm.
All right. So non-track and field events. You have to pick one. What's it going to be?
I would choose either basketball or karate.
Basketball or karate? Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, you got to choose one. That's two. Just choose one.
Choose one. Choose two.
Just
Okay,
choose.
I choose basketball.
All right. So what position are you playing?
I play forward,
All right.
power forward.
Oh, power forward. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Down low, throwing some elbows.
They used to hate when I was boxing out. I had the boniest butt out there.
Yeah, I used to
Mhm.
do a bunch of work for Turner, so NBA and TNT, and I got to know Charles Barkley and saw him a lot. He is literally the whitest person in the world. Like his I was thinking of it because you said butt, but
Yeah,
Charles, have you seen him in person? He's
yeah.
I think I'm a pretty big guy. He's at
Mhm.
least like three or four of me. Like he's
Well,
like the
he just
you know
big.
his nickname used to be the round mound of rebound, and literally the best nickname ever because I'm like when I met him in person, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, boxing out, you cannot get around
Makes
this guy.
sense. Yeah. Mhm.
So Tori, I'm gonna throw out some different questions for you. So one, I love to ask this one, and I'm gonna time it too. So let
Like a
me.
speed round?
It's gonna be. I'm not gonna tee it up because I don't want you thinking of anything. Not a speed round, but kind of. So I want to
Okay.
hear your life story in 60 seconds. Ready?
Okay.
Go.
Uh, Born and raised in Evanston to Tanya and William Franklin. I always loved sports. I wanted to do track and field all the way up until I knew I could start track and field in sixth grade because I just wanted to beat all the boys because I knew I was faster than them. Um, I did track and field, basketball, dance, karate. Went to high school. I killed the game, won state my junior year. I started writing because I loved to write. Got a scholarship to Michigan State. Um, got freshman of the year, like champion and all the things. Um, and then I went through a bad moment, had some depression, built my way out, developed my U anthem and mental wellness journey, went professional, had no money, no sponsorship, nothing, but I kept grinding because I had good people in my corner and I got my first sponsorship, broke the American record 3 times, lived in Paris, came back to America, lived in Greece, and became the first woman to ever medal at a world championship in the women's triple jump. That's 60
Minute
seconds.
five.
Then.
Minute five.
Oh,
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. You packed a lot in there. I think is I've literally asked probably hundreds of athletes that. I think you packed more into your first because normally what I do is I do like three different passes of it, and I'll go,
mm-hmm.
okay, now give me your favorite music in 60 seconds. Give me your favorite food, whatever, and we'll go through all these, and
Yeah.
then we edit it together in the series we call Super Docs, which are these
Mm-hmm.
little 2-minute documentaries. It's like stuffed with your life. Um,
Ah.
but they're really fun to watch. But you packed more into yours in the first pass than anybody. So world champ of that too.
Yeah.
So Tori, the you kind of hit on a few different things there. So one thing that I notice is most athletes at this level, in particular track and field, are overachievers in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different areas. And many of you, have your master's degrees. Many of you are like running two, three things on the side. Like,
Mm-hmm.
talk to us about all. You have a lot going on. So
Yeah.
tell me about. Let's start kind of digging into that of all the stuff that you have going on these days,
Okay.
outside of
Track and
being
field.
an Olympian.
Outside of that, right. Um, well, last year I published my first book, and that was called You Anthem. It is stories and reflections about my mental wellness journey, and it kind of gives tips to people on how they can manage theirs and develop their own you anthem to kind of speak light and love onto themselves when they're going through difficult times. It also kind of talks about how I use those tips and tricks within my athleticism. That's one thing. I also have my nonprofit, the Live Happy Project. We are hosting our first Live Happy Week this fall in Chicago. The essence of the nonprofit is to help inner city BIPOC youth develop a deeper understanding not only of themselves but their place in the world, basically to just open up their minds to their divinity and worthiness through nature and travel.
Oh,
We
that
help
sounds
them, yeah, just like learn about themselves and develop their own mental wellness routine.
very cool. How did you come to the nature and travel as kind of part of the mechanism there?
Mhm. Well, I've recognized in my own journey the importance that nature has had on my mental wellness and how much it grounds me and just kind of reminds me of what's important in life and what isn't. And then being a professional track and field athlete, I've gotten to travel so much and interacting with different people, seeing different cities, witnessing the beauty that this world has to offer also has been like a sense of grounding for me and helping me to understand that everybody wants the same thing at the end of the day, and we are always divinely supported and guided in this life. And those things just remind me of that.
That's really beautiful. I found too, like, one thing I don't think, again, to kind of, we reach an audience that sometimes is not the kind of hardcore track audience. We obviously reach that audience, but track and field athletes travel the world. So
Yeah.
let's see if you can go through. Well, we don't need to make it a speed round. Let's go through your favorite cities and countries around the world. Give us your kind of rundown of top five, top 10. Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay. The first one that comes to mind, and I'm going to give five. They may not be in this particular order. This is what comes to mind. So I will say Doolin, Ireland. That's where the Cliffs of Moher is beautiful. Absolutely breathtaking. Lauterbrunnen, Switzerland, another a mountain town, and they have waterfalls just falling from the sky. That's what it looks like. Never seen that before in my life. Like huge. Um, where else? I like Jamao el Norte in the Dominican Republic. It's another little mountain town, beautiful, green, lush land. That's three. Um, where else do I really like? I'm going to say, oh, I know. Patra in Greece is a beautiful town. Oh, it's my favorite. Oh my gosh, the water and the layout of the little houses.
yeah.
Okay, that's
The little
four.
houses are good. Little
Little
house.
house. And then five is kind of like a grouping of towns. It's the oh gosh, the five cities, the Cinque. It's in Italy,
Mhm.
and it's got like Rigamori, and it's a beautiful town. It's in the peninsula of Italy. Um, and they're just five little beach mountain towns that have colorful little houses, and you can like hike along them. It's amazing.
Think of that, of all the places that you've been, that this sport has kind of helped take you to many of those areas, right? And
Hmm.
what I've found that is really intriguing about track and field, generally speaking, you don't really need anything. I mean, obviously Sam Kendricks needs a pole to
Right.
vault,
Hmm.
but as a runner or a jumper, or even a thrower, like, you can just like
Hmm.
show up at the track, right? Here I am.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
The
but
body is the mechanism.
going back to all those sports that you played, Like,
Yeah.
was it just kind of like, uh-oh, here comes Tori again? Like all the competitors are just like, oh geez, we were hoping she wasn't showing up.
In basketball, for sure, they hate, like I said, they hated being bounced out. And then me and one of my teammates that I was with, whenever both of us were on the floor, they used to call me Miss Mayhem because whenever we were on the floor, we just caused a ruckus. Anything, any type of plan or play they were trying to do, don't even try. Because we had long arms, we were tripping over our feet, making other people trip over their feet. So the ball is not going to go where you want it to go. We just caused a ruckus.
I love this. This mayhem. The the other thing that I really love about track and field, and we've kind of been talking about this off and on throughout all of these
Hmm.
episodes, that this is our episode, I don't know what it is now. Whatever the Olympics are, we're the same number. So 12 or 13 or something like that.
Hmm.
And but it's all body shapes and sizes. Like like you can, obviously, if you see Ryan Krauser or Peyton Otterdahl or Joe Kovacs, you have a hunch
Hmm.
what they're doing, right?
Yep.
Right. And but I love, like, when you walk around the track, it's just like all these different human beings, right?
Hmm.
It's
That's
so
what makes that
cool.
so beautiful. Yeah. You can find someone that looks like you, like the representation of different body types is it's really beautiful. And I think it can help the young community or general population just recognize that your body can be used to do something amazing. And it's not just, you don't have to just be this small or this big, to be able to be an Olympic athlete.
Yeah. Or that jacked. Let's see that again. Let's see that
Yep.
bicep again. Oh man. So we had Chase Jackson on yesterday or the day before, and
Yep.
I love Chase. She's so fun. But we did talk about that. The concept of, she's like, it took me, and, she's 5'10". She's like, I'm big, I'm strong, and it took me a long time to really kind of, essentially, she was saying, own my body. She's like,
Yeah.
I used to try to shrink, because girls aren't supposed to be big. We're not supposed to be
Supposed to be
strong,
strong.
right?
Hmm.
And so, do you want to talk about that for a minute? Just kind of your insight on that for
Hmm.
young women out there.
Yeah. I've always been just like a naturally toned person. And so I've always received comments from people, or like little boys at the time. They're like, why are your arms so toned? Why do you have that, that little V slit on your waist? And why do you have abs? I'm like, I don't know, I don't do abs. Now I do abs, obviously. But when I was little, I wasn't doing abs. And there was a little bit of, self-consciousness within that because I didn't want to, be stronger than the boys, and feel less attractive because of it. And I realize now that, there's so much beauty in not only just being strong, but just in my body and my body type. And I'm so blessed to have this body, and I honor this body, and it has done so much for me and gotten me to where I am today and the lifestyle that I'm able to live today.
Well, that's cool. That's really cool.
Hmm.
So what? I just want to talk a little bit about what's happened at the Olympics. Take us through kind of what your performance, your take on your performance, and then let's bounce around to some other events. I'm curious to
Hmm.
see what you've been watching and looking at, and it's always fun. But yeah,
Yep. Okay. To be honest, I am quite disappointed in my result, um, because I know the work that I've put in. I know the results that I was putting out in practice, and I was really expecting to do better than I did. So I am still accepting the result of the competition, um, but I also understand that, it's part of the sport. And, sometimes things just happen and there's not always a reason. And sometimes there is, but at the end of the day, sometimes it doesn't matter. You just got to keep going. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's so difficult at the same time, right? This is what it is, right? This is
Yeah.
This is kind of what you've signed up for a little bit, right?
Mhm.
And um, but how do you get through that? I mean, you're kind of still in the maybe the disappointment phase, but how do
Mhm.
you how do you get through something like that? To put so much effort, so much time, so much dedication for so
Mhm.
many years leading up to this. Obviously, people out there, Tori is competing in tons of other events leading up. It's not just the Olympics. You don't just show up
Right.
every 4 years. Tori, you going to the Olympics? Well, I have all these other things I'm doing first, and
Yep.
hopefully I win it. You
Mhm.
know, I get through
Mhm.
trials and I can compete. But how do you get through that with all of that work and all that passion you put in?
Mhm. I mean, it's definitely a process of, accepting it little by little and allowing myself to grieve and just not holding anything in. That's really it.
That's really
Yeah.
interesting. Why
Mhm.
do you think that's actually fascinating? What is it
Mhm.
about holding it in versus kind of letting that out that's important?
See, the thing is, everybody else in the world, pretty much, who isn't an Olympic athlete, is, and rightly so, like proud of the Olympian and expecting you to be happy that you're an Olympian, and immediately just being like, "Oh, how was it? It must have been awesome." And yes, the experience has been awesome, but you must feel like you did better than you did last time, and all of these positive, happy bombings kind of. And we as the athletes, if it didn't go right, we're not feeling any of that. We're not just happy to just be an Olympian, especially if we knew we had like higher goals that we could like legitimately achieve. There are some people who are just happy to be an Olympian, and that's great. That's amazing. But there are some athletes that had a goal of achieving something more than just that title. And so when everyone else is like, you must be so excited, it's like, no, I'm not. And I'm accepting that I'm not. And I'm not going to hold it. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, wow, that's really. Thank you for sharing that. Like that's personal,
Mhm.
and I appreciate it because I think a lot of people can kind of learn from that as well. The I asked this question, but I did it with Chase Jackson. I always want to call her Chase
Mhm.
Ely. So um,
Yeah.
I
Maybe
always catch
now.
myself. So I asked this show used to be called we called it What Were You Thinking? And the concept
Okay.
was what were you thinking in kind of those, moments, big athletic moments and what were you thinking when you did that stupid thing or ridiculous so but I kind of want to so we kept the question in even though we changed the show name. Um
Yeah.
I kind of want to ask you, is there a what were you thinking question that I should ask that that I don't? I want your insight on if you were to ask
Mhm.
yourself a question, tell us what were you thinking, Tori, when fill in the blank.
Mhm. And the fill in the blank is like a big moment, right?
I think so. It could
Okay.
be a little moment. So sometimes I'm like,
Mhm.
what were you thinking? You're at the top of the runway and you're down
Mhm.
to your last jump and and you got it. Like, what were you thinking at the
Yeah.
like?
Ooh, okay. I would ask myself, like, what were you thinking when you started your victory lap in 2022 World Championships? Mhm.
Okay, now you have to change your body position to answer it. So it's like you.
Well, Tori, great question. Um, well, I remember at that moment, right before we started our victory lap, I started to cry. And it was because I was thinking about how much I had gone through in the last year, and even just 3 months prior to that, and to have come past all of that, how I was feeling of doing badly in Tokyo and moving, switching coaches so suddenly twice, and then still coming out in a position that was historic. And I was just really proud of myself and just really like, you did it. You made it out. And I was happy and crying.
That's amazing. See, this is why I think I might stick to this with this question. Just give it back to you guys
Mhm.
because you know more than me. So-
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, we know like what moment we were touched by.
exactly. I was like
Mhm.
Natasha Hastings used to tell me. She's like, right after the race, I hate when they ask me, "What were you thinking there on the race?" She's like, "I wasn't thinking anything. I blacked out."
Yeah.
She's like, "None of us know what happened. We're just, all those words that come out of our mouth right after the race, we have no idea 2 seconds later what we just said."
Nope. They're just scripted answers for the most part, Oh, I did everything I could, I just really wanted to execute and I knew I hit a hurdle and
Exactly. By the way,
Yep.
did you happen to see right before I came on to this, I saw the 400-meter men race. Did you see that?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm not gonna. You want to see it? I'm not gonna tell you
I
the
have
result then.
to go. Oh my gosh. Now
It's.
I have to go.
I know someone
Suspense.
texted me, "Wow, this finish," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't see it," but then
Mhm.
I kind of squeezed it in before I came on
Before
because
the
I thought you might bring it up actually,
Mhm.
and I didn't
No,
want the
I was
spoiler.
just rushing here to get because I was at dinner, so I didn't get to see it.
What? Wait, where'd you go for dinner? What'd you have?
Indian,
Oh, nice.
achana masala. Yes, it was
Yeah,
delicious.
there's a lot of good food in Paris.
Yep. Mhm.
The we only have 15 minutes left, but I still have other good questions to ask. But
Okay.
you'll be the judge of that, I guess. The so one of them that I do want to talk about is, well, actually, before I do, I'll let you think about this one while we talk about something else. I asked a question of what does it take to be the greatest, but we're going to
Yeah.
put that to the side. Let's talk about other things that have happened outside of your event during the Olympics
Mhm.
that really kind of amazed you or kind of struck you as like, wow, that was pretty cool. What a performance!
Mhm.
Or some of your friends who are there as well, and what they've
Mhm.
done as well.
The first one that comes to mind is the opening ceremony. That was beautiful. It was amazing. Um, like even with the rain, which was, you know, stressful, and we all went in trying to look cute and everything, and by the end, everyone's got like eyeliner under their eyes, but like the crowd was amazing, cheering us on from the rooftops of palaces. Like we were on the roof,
Wow,
and just the lights and the shows, following the torch through the video and everything. It was just really beautiful. And Celine Dion, she did that. She really did.
she did. I mean,
Hmm.
it was good on TV, but it had to be better
Yeah,
there.
it was so amazing. That's one. Yeah, that's one that just stood out.
And
Hmm.
hanging on the boat that worked out.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a
It's
good
kind of a
time.
good idea, actually. I kind of like the boat idea.
Me too.
I mean,
I thought we got the like free tour of the city before we get started.
yeah.
Got to
So
see
where did
everything.
now that you say that, where did the boat start? Like, how
It
far did you have
started
to go?
pretty far. Like it was at the way bottom of the Seine,
So
and
it's
we
like
just rode on
what,
the
20
boat.
minutes, half hour, an hour? Like how long?
So it was like 25 minutes from Saint Denis. Just went straight down.
Mhm.
So wherever that is, I don't know.
Where was your family at the time? Were they kind of
My family wasn't here yet.
they weren't there? Okay, got it,
Yeah, yeah, they were still in Chicago.
got it. So
Mhm.
so what other events, friends competing events that really jumped out at you? And yeah, tell me about that.
Mhm. Let's see. I was pretty impressed by both of the 100 meters. Um, I was not surprised that Noah won, but I was also a little surprised that Shikari didn't. So those were intense. And oh my gosh, no, long jump and men's pole vault. What men's long jump and men's pole vault? That's what it is. Those are both my training partners from Greece, Meltos Tentoglu and Manolo. Um, it just warms my heart that they both did so well. Miltos getting the I think only one other athlete has ever gotten long jump champion 2 times. So now he's in the history books. And then
He's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, crazy. And so then yeah, I'm proud of my other partner who got third place.
So where do you train now? Where are you guys
Greece
training? In
at
Greece.
yeah, at the Olympic Training Center.
Got it. All right. All right.
Hmm.
Usually, like it's usually international athletes come here. It seems like, but this is two
Yeah,
in a row. Chase Jackson left the U.S. to go train in the U.K., and here you
hmm.
are training in Greece.
I think her and I left at the same time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For her, I mean, what was it for you that made you kind of go, "All right, I need to find a whole new destination here."
Yeah. Well, it was my second time leaving the country. I left in 2019 to train here in Paris, actually. Um, and then I went back for 6 months and then left again. And for me, it was that I felt like the style of coaching of U.S. female women triple jumpers isn't a style that's like compatible with my body and the way that I jump. But this coach that I'm with now, I think has like a better understanding and a mentality and method that works for me better.
The I was talking to Daryl Woodson, D2, who is, if people don't know him, he's a professional track coach, one of the best in the world, speed coach for sprinters, and he's working with the relay team. We were talking about about how he coaches when he's just kind of like showing up with athletes that he is not coaching, and he's
Yeah.
like, you coach the athlete, you don't coach the event, right?
Hmm.
And that
Hmm.
concept. So when you're saying that about your coach, it's like, there's some connection there, right? That allows you to get the most out of the coach and the coach to get most out of you, right? Something like
Yep.
that.
There has to be some level of like chemistry and understanding. And so
The
that's what my coach and I have.
so Tori, I just thought you just kind of, you show up at a track and you go do your thing. There's a coach
Mhm.
involved. This is what
Yeah,
people don't understand.
the coach helps
Coaches,
to bring it out. Hmm.
coaches, who else? Physios. Uh,
Yes.
do you have a
Hmm.
uh, well, you do a lot of mental health work on your own. Do you have a
Hmm.
sports psychologist as well, or no?
I don't have a sports psychologist, but I have a regular therapist,
Right.
and I have
So
like some other mentors.
so your team, I mean, this is what, and I'm kind of talking to potential sponsors out there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
great athletes like you who have been unsponsored over the years,
Mm-hmm.
who are having to work jobs and having to rely on perhaps the support of other people and all that. It's like
Hmm.
these are the greatest athletes that we have in the
Yeah.
United States, right?
Hmm.
So we should be taking care of our athletes and helping
Yeah.
support them because you
Hmm.
have a whole team. It's not like playing for the New York Giants where there's a whole team facility and team staff. Like
Hmm.
every athlete that we're watching at the Olympics, they're on their own. They're all,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs basically.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
just a shout out to any sponsors out there, because one of the reasons I love doing this show, and this is we've done about 55 episodes plus this year, so we're past 60 episodes of doing this. And what I love about it is getting to know all you guys,
Hmm.
um, and I love meeting new people because I like to use this show to show brand sponsors. Hey,
Yeah.
maybe you want to be working with this woman.
Yeah.
That's part of
Mhm.
the game here, right?
Yeah.
The
Come on down.
What are the while we're here, let's talk about it. What are the brand sponsors that would be like your perfect? Give me your top 3 off the top of your head. Like it could be a category too.
Definitely mental wellness, um, women's health and wellness. What else? Holistic healing, movement, herbalism, healthy food. I'm vegetarian. I'm very big on fruits and veggies. Um, hair, hair care, and black-owned, woman-owned things too.
I love it. So this is uh, I'm putting this question into every show now. I don't know why I
Mhm.
have not been asking this because now I we can just edit this out, make a little reel, and then send it
Mhm.
out to people. So
Right.
this is coming into the show. Thank you for doing
Mhm.
that. So let's get to the question of what does it take to be the greatest?
What does it take to be the greatest? It takes an undeniable belief in yourself. It takes a vision. It takes obvious dedication and discipline. But I think at the end of the day, it takes heart because life life is gonna throw itself right at you many times, and there's gonna be a lot of reasons and opportunities to quit. But if you are driven and guided by your heart, then nothing will stop you. Nothing will stop you.
That is awesome. Right? I mean that's your guidance system right there,
Yep.
right? But your
Mhm.
heart. Your heart. The is there any other kind of offbeat Olympic sports that you're a big fan of? Like Devin Allen is obsessed with team handball. He got hooked on it in 2016 Rio. Clayton Murphy's like, yeah, we went to handball. It was crazy.
That's so funny.
So we've been talking a lot of team handball. We still have yet to get
Mhm.
a handball athlete on the show, but we're still trying.
Okay, I know one, but I don't know if
You
he's for
do?
like Team USA. Yeah, I do
It doesn't
actually.
matter. I brought in a
I know
taekwondo
one.
expert.
Okay, then yeah,
Yeah.
I know one.
Okay. Give that person my
Hold on.
info.
Yeah. To answer your question though, I've really gotten into the women's water polo team and equestrian.
Really?
Yes, equestrian.
What is it about equestrian that you love?
Um, well, one, I used to have a horse when I was little. So I just like if I can just watch the horses. They're so pretty. And
Amazing.
two, on the way to the open ceremony, I sat with the oldest Olympian on Team USA, and he's an equestrian. And we had a ton of conversation about what it takes to be an equestrian and like training the horse and that it's like a real relationship with the horse and all of that. I just got really interested. So now I follow like the Equestrian Federation, the Team USA Equestrian Federation,
I think
and get all the
Tori,
updates.
I think we should get him on the show and you should come on the show and co-host with me. Let's
Yeah.
deep dive. We'll bring Devin in too as because he likes any other interesting sports and
Hmm.
but I think we should do that. See if
That'll
you
be
can
so
pull that.
fun.
That would be fun, right?
Hmm.
Because then it's like I don't. Equestrian does look interesting, and I've been meaning to do more research on that guy because it's like, wow, that's pretty amazing. You're like that old and you're still an Olympian and you're still the best. Like,
Right? Six
yeah,
Olymp six Olympics. I think he's like the most on the team right now. Like six Olympics. That's
wow,
crazy. He's like he's been equestrianing since the 70s.
that's
That's
crazy.
wild.
That is wild. Hey, tomorrow we have. You're gonna want to watch this show tomorrow, by the way. So
Mhm.
we have Kyle Garland tomorrow. We have uh, Ashton Zamzow Mahler. and everyone's been going, we need to get other interesting sports. So we found a shooter,
Mhm.
so the Turkish guy kind of took the internet by storm, but
Oh, I thought you said you have the Turkish guy to come on
we
the
don't
show.
have the
I'm like,
Turkish guy.
you got the assassin.
We have someone better than the Turkish guy.
Okay.
Her name is Kim Rode. Kim Rode
Hmm.
is a 6-time Olympian. She's the only Olympian in the Summer Olympics, I think this is true, to win a medal in 6 consecutive Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like she's got like 35. I don't know. The number of medals she has is like, wait a minute, why aren't we talking about her? So she's on the show tomorrow. So
Okay.
so Kyle doesn't know it yet, but
Hmm.
I'm gonna bring Kyle on first, and then I'm just gonna throw him into the weeds with Kim and talk about shooting.
Yeah. Nice. Element of surprise.
Element spread. It's always fun. Kyle can handle it though. He's a good guy, and
Hmm.
he's very curious and creative. So
Yeah.
he'll be fine. Do you know? So we're gonna be talking a little decathlon, heptathlon with those guys, but
Mm.
the this is like so much fun.
Mhm.
I'm glad I reached out and we connected. It's like
Me too.
so
It's
much
been
fun.
good.
We had and we might so we're probably going to end up continuing the show through. I think we're going to take a few days off. I'm going back to Michigan,
Hmm.
seeing family and stuff like that, and then I think we're going to come back and restart the show for the Paralympics.
Oh,
So
fun.
yeah, we had Blake Leeper on the show, like the third show or so. He's amazing.
Yeah.
But we have a whole list of Paralympians that we're going to have on before they go over. And then
Hmm.
what I want to do is bring on other Summer Olympians who are not Paralympians to kind of act as hosts.
Hmm.
But then we'll keep bringing on Paralympians, kind of just like what we've done this time around. But
Yep. Yep.
so you should come on to that show as a co-host.
That'd be awesome. I'm down.
I'm making the pitch now, Tori. Uh-oh, we lost you. Now you're back. The
I'm back.
So we're right up on it. Here's one problem, Tori. We come to the end of our show, and it's been like whatever 12, 13 in a row, and we never know how to end it. So in
Hmm.
the last show that we did a breakdancing show. So a really good
Okay.
buddy of mine, Quick Step, is in the Breakdancing Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
We got in B-Boy El Nino, who narrowly missed making the team, but he's been a Team USA breakdancer.
Hmm.
But I told them, I'm like, we don't know how to end our show. You guys can you come up with? So they came up with this great little kind of beatbox thing that I think is the best ending that we'll ever have.
Okay.
But do you have any good ideas for us on how to end the show? Kyra
Um,
Jefferson was like, "Hey, what about we just stick with the peace out kind of thing and we're done."
no, you need a jingle.
So
You
what?
need a jingle. Like do 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 do. World's greatest. Bye. Something like that. Or it can be like a little more upbeat. It can be like the world's greatest on the show. Every day, the world's greatest on the show. See you later. You know what? I'm not much of a rhymer, so like just have somebody else do it.
Hey, so far this is right up to this is competing for the best. I think we just need you. We just need you to have a little bit more support around you because I've seen your dance moves. So
Yeah,
we just need like maybe a couple other people to kind of join that, and then we'll just play that as our outro to the show.
I support it. If somebody else was like doing the music, because I can't do both. I can't have the music in my head and be trying to make the jingle at the same time. I know I'm talented, but like, give me a break, you know?
Hey, so that's your assignment. No more relaxing in Paris after you've been at the Olympics. Now you're going to come up with a little jingle for us.
Now we make the jingle. But usually I'm pretty good at jingles. It's just, I need some support, like you said.
I can tell already. This is going to be a very good assignment. Who knew? I'm finding out so much about you. Oh, I love it. I love it. This has been so much fun, Tori. The
Hmm.
So the one way that we do end the show, though, is we do a lot of shout outs. So I'm going to toss it to you first, and I'm going to do some shout outs. So you can shout out any brand, any person, anything that you want. So I'll turn it over to you for some shout outs.
I'm gonna do some quick thank yous to my team and my coach, George Pomaski, to my physio, Colin Diamond, to my family, my mom, grandma, brothers, and aunts and uncles. All of them came, or not, no uncles, but all of them came to watch me compete. I'm so grateful for their presence. And then a shout out to my nonprofit, the Live Happy Project. Look it up, the livehappyproject.org. Happy is spelled HAPPII, just like my Instagram, and come support us. Yes.
Wait, tell us your Instagram again.
My Instagram is live happy, LIVEHAPPII.
There we go. The
Mm-hmm.
So for World's Greatest, you can follow us on all. You've been seeing this banner moving up and down, right? We're World's Greatest Team on Instagram, on Twitter, World's Greatest with no vowels. So try to figure that one out. Someone squatting on World's Greatest on Twitter. No, that's literally a handle that's available. With the person has like 2 followers, and Twitter won't give it to us, or X,
Dang.
whatever. But on YouTube, we are World's Greatest. So if you youtube.com/World's Greatest, you'll go straight to our page. So we have tons of content on there, long form, short form, all sorts of stuff. Our new show, The Science of Movement. Big shout out to HSS, Hospital for Special Surgery. They were our sponsor, and it's a great show. And I think, Tori, next go around, we got to bring you into it. The show's called The Science of Movement, and we broke down one episode per kind of sport and athlete. So we have hurdles, heptathlon, shot put, pole vault, sprint with Shanti Jackson. And then we did gymnastics, rhythmic gymnastics, fencing, breakdancing, and what's the last one I'm forgetting? Swimming, which is a great one. So
Okay.
you can watch those on YouTube, but you can also watch them on Curiosity Stream. This is a streaming platform. And if you have a VIZIO TV, you can search for World Greatest. I think they have a hub called like World of Sports, right? And so you can find us there. And I found out recently you can find us on Apple TV. So but you have to search Science of Movement, and that show will pop up. So yeah, so there's all that. And Tori, thanks for being on the show. This has been amazing.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm glad I was able to make it.
I'm glad you were too. All the way from Paris. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Jingle time.
Do, 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 do. World's greatest. World's greatest.
Peace out.